What's up, Just Try bringing you guys another Play TCG on July Online Ultimate Cup Regional. This is the second time we've had a regional for North America in the EX format, and some interesting stuff came from it. You guys know the deal, EggmanEvents.com. We try to cover everything here. We try to keep everything up to date for all the Bandai games. Honestly, you'd be surprised how much we support the Bandai games in general. Even if we don't talk about them, they kind of get supported anyway. It's kind of funny, kind of cool, kind of funny. But yeah, so we got Mirage taking it in a field of only being the only Mirage in the top 16 is kind of cool. But we also got Numemon still represented as the the North American scene puts a lot of weight on this deck. But we're seeing it even with North America kind of favoring Numemon more. We're seeing other things kind of take the pie chart and make their present, notably no Magnamon X. So, let's go over the numbers, right? We got 6 Numemon, 3 Yellow Vaccine, and when I say Yellow Vaccine, I definitely mean armor. 3 7 Great Demon Lords, 1 Mirage, 1 Blue Flare, which is really cool to see that creep on itself back up. 1 Doorbreak OTK and 1 Imperial, kind of rounding everything out. And kind of like what I said in the last video, or last time I did this, 7 Great Demon Lords showing up with 3 results. We'll talk about the decks in a second, but it's interesting. How do I explain it? It's interesting to see on the premise that I kind of mentioned that what was it? With Royal Knights, it's not necessarily a game of ratios that we're really trying to see with Royal Knights. We're gonna see going forward, there's a lot of similar stuff. There's room for spice, there's room for tech, and maybe that's what's gonna bring some decks over the edge or not. But I think it really just comes down to people learning their matchups and people just getting good and faster with the deck. The deck can stall out, and in this world where we've got slow decks, if you just kind of draw out, then you obviously don't top, less chance to top. So as people get better, faster with the deck, functionally, we're probably going to see the 7 Great Demon Lords kind of rise up to be a prominent, probably at least best 5. I mean, if anything, this pie chart kind of proves it already, but one pie chart's not everything. Anyway, I kind of yapped a little too hard on that. So you guys know how I do this, top to bottom. I try to give everybody at least 2 minutes, or a minute. I try to give everyone a minute, but it ends up being way too long. Imperial, it's a fan favorite deck, and it's everybody's on it. The things I always mention about Imperial will always stay true. This purple green Wormmon will forever be the greatest one of in any deck ever. I guess I should say greatest one of that you could potentially play more of, but it's just if you play too many of it, you're kind of unhappy. But when you play that one and that one works out, and it works out every time you see it, probably, oh, you're stoked. This Wormmon, if you haven't put the one of in your deck yet, please put it in your deck. I cannot recommend it enough. And then level 4s is always an interesting talking point. We got the 2 Lydramons so just kind of round out our champion selection. I really think people underestimate how much consistency these green-blue level 4s give the deck. And then on top of that, we see, just a little bump. Typically, we see 4 of the BT12 Stingmon, but we see a little bump up to the starter deck one. The draw's just good. The draw will always be good. It always has been good. And then, we're heavy onto the level 5s, honestly. 7 level 5 is kind of a lot for the deck, but that being said, I mean, we're on Pylodramon. Just we're attacking. We're kind of giving up on that control world that we kind of wanted to be in a few, either a set ago or whatever we were trying to do before. And now we're hitting the gas, and we're no gas, no brakes, And we see that off of Bryce's win. Was it a win? It was a win. He was on Imperial. Yeah, Imperial won the last in an American event. And we're seeing this dragon mode from the starter deck, combos immaculately with the BT12 level 4s. If you get to hidden potential and then just start gaining memory for DNA, especially since all your level 5s unsuspend and attack twice. Oh, and then you got Hammer Sparks to make sure you keep turn, and then Giga Death, Security Bombs, Invincible Dragon Insect Fusion with the notable fact to that, Blue Magnamon X wasn't did not top this event, it kind of gives me the impression that maybe they were less represented, leading into needing this Invincible Dragon card a little less. This is their answer for Magnamon X, and I mean, if it just works, man, it just works. Davis Ken, and then Davis. Oh, I didn't say the name. This is Lawrence's. Lawrence. This is 16th place Imperial. I always try to say the names, but the new setup. I shouldn't get mad. And then 11th place, Alec, with some fanciness here. We got Dorbrick OTK. I mean, we've known Dorbrick OTK to be around for a while now. Honestly, I've never been a fan of the deck. I'm like, oh, you're just trying to draw and pray a lot of the times. I feel like I can see how the new Doru Greymon stuff has given it the extra push it needs, the Kotsuke to kind of combo with everything, just kind of give you a defensive wall. But honestly, this is one of those decks where like I would rather the player kind of put a comment in the video to like really kind of, you know, flesh out. Like I know how the deck works, right? You play the metal cannons, you draw, everything's a dragon. Seeing the Dark Tyranno, seeing the deck's Dorugamon gives me the vibe and like a heavier leaning towards the Dorugamon X antibody stuff. Especially the Oryumon's is interesting. Just like I feel like it's like, okay, we're using this to create a defensive wall until I get to my OTK. Like this first stack is it's gonna get a lot of sources. It's gonna be my early metal cannon that's gonna draw me into the actual Dorbrick OTK. And then I love how we have. It's so funny. It's like at first you're like, why the hell are we playing this Vmon? And then it's this right here. You are playing this deck. You are literally, one of the biggest things you're trying to do is literally draw into this Vmon, draw into this Dorbrick, get the attack with Dorbrick, and then maybe not even get the attack with Dorbrick. Sometimes you just hard play the Dorbrick, put the Vmon under because it is a dragon, and then end of turn DNA into Ragnalord. Your first stack is this Oryumon, which is a nightmare to get rid of. This whole, like the whole X antibody, Doru, Dex, Doru, Greymon, Ginryu stuff is your, like, I am slowing my opponent down. This is a boss monster that's very hard to get rid of. I'm going to draw off of my metal cannons, and then bam, Dorbrick, end of turn, Ragnalord. We're just digging for that Vmon. And I mean, I feel like that's probably plan A. And then plan B, like if Vmon is in security, I'm not sure what happens then. Yeah, I'm not sure what happens if Vmon's in security. So that's another thing. It's like, hey man, like let me know what your game plan was if this homie's at the bottom like that. But yeah, no, it's an interesting deck. It always feels like a cool cheeky deck. This is what people want out of, like, this is the thing people will always point to when they're like, oh, I want more creativity. And this is a very creative deck. Alec, congrats on 11th place and proving to the world that, you know, there's still some like room for creativity, I guess. Yeah, no, it's a very unique, even when it comes to Dorbrick OTK, this is a very unique list of Dorbrick OTK because of all the new additions. And you get it. I can't hype people up that much, and we're running out of time. Blue Flare also makes it to the top, which is really interesting. Like, this deck is just a deck that keeps creeping up. The deck it can be frustrating in general, if that makes sense. It's just like, if sometimes they just see this Greymon and it's over, you lost. You're like 2 checks jamming, promote my rookie, 3 checks, next play, hard play, at pass turn with another rookie, and then you're just staring down lethal next turn, GG's. And you're like, well, great, what was I supposed to do? So I really feel like this deck suffers, in terms of when it gets support and stuff, I feel like it just suffers from the fact that this Greymon exists. It really suffers from that. I feel like they just created a mess by allowing this Greymon to be in the deck, and they doesn't allow them to be allow the deck to push in a more blue flare-y blue direction. I don't know if that makes sense. Maybe I'm talking out of my head. Whatever. Blue flare. Oh my god, who did this? Was Kevin. This is a 7th place. This is an Omnimon blue flare, by the way. So grats to the pilot. Grats to Kevin. But the most interesting thing here is we're seeing what are the updates to the deck? What does Blue Flare look like in EX6? And it looks like we are adding the Vikemon Ace. We are adding Zudomon Ace. I mean, adding, it's been in the deck. We're playing the War Greymon Secret Rare from BT14. I think that was something that was creeping up here and there. We have the Lu because, you know, we just do have the room for the Tamers in the deck. And then just getting that extra cheeky attack, or we are running a little bit of Ukos to just fill out the rookies. Blue Flare is one of those decks that, I mean, realistically speaking, Blue Flare could just run 8 Ukomons. Like, they could potentially be a deck that does that, but I think the most unique thing to come out of this list is the fact that we're running Cyberdramon at all. Just to go over, because I think this is probably the first ever Blue Flare to top with this card. Hand main, if you have a Digimon with Blue Flare and its traits in play, you may pay 3 memory, place this card under one of those Digimon as its bottom Digivolution card, then unsuspend that Digimon. So for 3 memory, you get to unsuspend your guy, and then it has an inheritable while your opponent has 2 or more Digimon, it gets 1 2k. So for 3 memory, you're paying for an unsuspend, which, is that good? Is it not good? I don't know, but we also have Cyber Launcher. So this does allow us to play Cyber Launcher for 4 if we want to be there, which is very interesting. It also adds it also lets us have this secondary effect if Cyberdramon is in this Digimon's Digivolution cards. Return one of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon to the owner's deck. You get to bottom something. You get to bottom deck something, and like in a world with Numemon, in a world with maybe random Cherubimon, yeah, it's level 3. You're getting like armors. You know, there's plenty of level 4s out there that just are a little sticky, but if you bottom deck them, it's game over. So, I definitely think having Cyberdramon here is definitely one of the most interesting things we have done, and I respect it. It's very cool. But no, congrats, Kevin Valley. Now we get to talk about our 3 7 Great Demons Lords lists. Where this one will be Michael's 12th place list. We got the 1 Barbramon, as we kind of seen as a mainstay. We got the mix of the Leviathans, which this is really where the toolboxy stuff starts. I am interested to see that playing both Beelzemon X and Levi X. The Levi X seems like a mainstay, but it seems hit or miss if people are running the X antibody. But I mean, both are great, especially since we're not running X antibody to potentially get some cheeky stuff with the Rush Beelzemon, but it is what it is. Just being able to Digivolve and trash some security probably is worth it on its own. Porcupine, because you need to get rid of Floodgates. Eismon Scatter Mode, because why not? Some draw discard, it's always good. Lucemon at 4. Playing 4 total Lucemons. Only 1 Lilithmon in this list is interesting. One of our little sleepy boys. 2 of the Rage Modes, the new Rage Mode to be exact. And then just the smorgasbord of options. So the Biting Crushes always seem important. 7th Lightning and 7th Full Cluster I feel like are a little underrated, especially since the deck can deck out sometimes. We even saw it on stream a week ago. Rivals Barrage, because we want to be able to say that our trash is a draw pile for any card we ever want is stupid. And Calling of Darkness. Yeah, it's 7 Great Demon Lords. I feel like, I hate to say it, but I feel like we're not going to see too much variance. Here's one of the things we will see variance on. 1 Ruin Mode versus, we got the 2 Ruin Modes here, and then we got the additions of the Mat and the Digimon Emperor. The Mat kind of, it's either hit or miss which Mat they are running. This one's actually the BT12 one, which maybe that's not right. Maybe it should have been the starter deck one. Did I fumble that? I might have fumbled that. I'm sorry. This is Matthew Perez's. This is Matthew Perez's 9th place. 9th place Beelzemon. Let me double check. No, he is playing this old Mat. At least from my records, it is in fact this old Mat. But yeah, you're seeing some of the same. Oh no, he's playing the Mask. This is the one with the Mastamon. How could I forget? And we're playing the Maycrack on top of that. It digivolves on a couple of stuff We get to bring back a level 4 or lower, which guess who? Chirugimon. It does have to be purple or yellow, so you can't bring out Sister, but you can bring out Porkia, and you can bring out Raremon if you need more draws. Crack is also interesting just to trash. If you have a purple card, delete one of your opponent's level 3 Digimon. If you have a yellow, if you trash a yellow card, you can trash a Lucemon Chaos mode, and we're running 5 of them. A total of 5 Lucemon Chaos modes, with 4 being the new set one. And then you have very similar option spread. Not playing the 7th full cluster, but we are on both X antibodies, a different ratio of the Levias, and we're not sneaking in the old rage mode. We're actually even cutting it compared to the last list, but it makes sense when we're trying to fit. Oh, we do have the old rage mode, so we're just playing a mix here. 2 Lilithmons over the last list, and then no Barbaramons at all. We decided to just not worth it. Most people are playing it at 1 for the name anyway, which is funny because like when this set came out, it was like, Barbaramon's finally coming, we'll have all 7 great demon lords and their super sword boss monster, and it's just like kind of funny. I really don't know what else to say. Oh, actually one mistake on this list is actually that they are running, I did end up finding a mistake, sorry. This is Matthew. They did choose to run the Yggdrasil Digibubble tech, where like, you know, you just have it as a 5th name, and that extra name just allows some of the stuff that happens with the deck. And then if you accidentally get it on first, tough cookie. I mean, your plan kind of changes, which I mean, it's fine. Your deck can play with Yggdrasil as the top source. It is what it is. Makes me wonder if I have to check the rest of them now. But going back, this will be this is, oh man, this is, I'm flubbing it. This is Alexander's 4th place. 4th place 7 Great Demon Lords. A little more condensed, a little more less having to zoom out is kind of nice. Let's see if they were running the Yggdrasil tech. No, they weren't. So yeah, so the only one running the Yggdrasil tech was Matthew, and Alex wasn't. So both Alex and Michael were not running the Yggdrasil tech, which, you know, fair, honestly. And funny enough, both running this original BT to Matt. So that's not even a mistake on my part. Now on play, return 1 purple. I mean, I guess it makes sense. You get to return any option of purple Digimon towards the end of the game. You've milled enough to where this Matt's going to grab you whatever, and he's just a memory setter, which is always good. That being said, we see that we don't have the Beelzemon X antibody. We just opted for 2 sleep modes, 2 rage modes, the green ones. The 1 Barbaramon for the name, it feels like, and just like your very traditional numbers. Like we're playing a total of 4 Lucemon Chaos modes with the inclusion of 1 of the BT7 one, 2 of the Lilithmon, and then just, you know, just standard numbers. Digimon Emperor, because we're afraid of Numamon. Who isn't afraid of Numamon? I'm definitely afraid of Numamon. And Vaccine. Vaccine, I mean, if you don't play Digimon Emperor against Vaccine, it's tough. It's tough. Patamon's a hell of a card, man. One hell of a card. But I mean, grats. Again, this was the 4th place 7 Great Demon Lords. We almost Matthew getting 9th. We almost had 2 7 Great Demon Lords being able to get top Omnimons. So, man, I keep flipping up my setup. But anyway, get to talk about some Vaccine now. This is 14th place, Andrew's list. At this point, it's kind of Yellow Vaccine, Yellow Armor Vaccine is kind of just a solved list at this point. There's a few decision points, like it's Andrew notably only playing 3 of the BT14 TK, which is interesting. Allows him to have a little extra room for maybe the Digimon Emperor. Maybe has an extra, is actually running 3 Ukamons. It's kind of Ukamon heavy. We're rookie heavy for a Vaccine deck, honestly. 3 physical trainings makes sense. That's usually where we're at. And then, you know, we're actually, I feel like maybe we're heavier on the level 5s than we traditionally are seeing a Vaccine list. We'll see at the other 2 if that's true. But 1 Security Bomb, 3 Rapidmon X's also seems kind of high. I mean, I feel like most people are on 2, but I mean, I can't hate. If you like the card, you like the card, and it makes sense. It like it feels like the one you want to play more just because you have the consistency to get into it with 8 Rapidmon level 4s under it. But yeah, no, congrats on, this is 14th. And then we're going on to Alonso Perez. Alonso. Alonso Perez's yellow vaccine list. This is 13th place. Playing the movie Patamon is interesting instead of Ukomon. I feel like most people are either cutting Kutamons and Patamons just to kind of sneak in Ukomon, because why not? Actually running a Venusmon instead of a third Rapidmon compared to the previous list. Death X, Rune Mode, I mean 3 trainings, we're seeing very similar. Actually playing the max playset of TK makes sense to me. But after that, you can see how it's a very similar list of a lot of things the same. Venusmon's actually an underrated card against Magna X in general. I think this, I'm surprised when I only see 1 in lists, but I get it. You got to be consistent, and these are tech cards that we trying to shove into a deck that kind of needs to get its game plan going first, you know. But yeah, let's go into this is Alonso's, and then we go into Alexander. No, Bert. This is Bert's third place yellow vaccine, making it to Omnimon levels. Cutting on the Angel Womons. The other lists were running 2 or 3. We're a little low, and we actually made room for the 1 Ukomon instead of playing the movie Patamon. Pillows at Kudos at 3. Same, no gold Vidramon here. We're just playing the 8 champions and just calling that enough. Very similar ratios here, but we are actually playing 4 physical training over the previous list, 2 Shine Rune modes, actually including the Venus, 2 Rapids, 2 Heaven's Judgments, which is, you know, security bombs are good. Oh, I didn't talk about the Digi Bubbles, but the previous list was running the Nyarumon at 4, which it's a good card, but however, and I imagine in the mirror it might even be better. Actually, can I say that? I'm not sure how this card plays out in the mirror, especially with... No, this is probably good in the mirror. I mean, you only really care, again, for Edamon, honestly. That's probably where you care the most. Yeah, no, Bert, congrats on 3rd place, Omnimon standings. And then, yeah, no. Not much else to say, so bam, we get to talk about 6 entire Numamons. This is Jeffrey's 15th place. Jeffrey's a household name at this point, probably, kind of, sorta. It's Numamon, man, and it's gonna be 6 of them, and I know, I really try to give everybody their minute, but Lord forgive me. there's only so many. Two force split on the Satskis, actually playing Venus, which I agree, heavier. I feel like, I can't remember if it's, no, Valkyrie at 3 tends to be the mainstay, actually choosing to keeping Edamon into the list. I thought we were seeing a return to Waru, but nah. Digimon Emperor at 1 seems a little low, same with the Lu, but we got 2 protoforms, which is a little high, so that's where we're getting our numbers from. 2 split on the Floodgates, and only 1 of the black-yellow Numamon when we're not playing the Claw Garamon. But yeah, Numamon. Oh, we got so many to go. This one is Kyle's 10th place Numamon list. As you can see, it's very similar. 3-2 split on the memory blocker. Can't play by Floodgates, man, Floodgates. 3-2 split on the Digipolice Numa to Satsuki, 1 black-yellow Numamon, and then 2 Edamon, no Waru again, 3 Valks, 1 Venus, 1 Shine, 1 Death, cutting 1 protoform from the previous list to just allow us to have 1 more Lu. I think this definitely feels more standard, more correct to me, but when we're finicking, whatever, up and down 1, it is what it is. I don't know. That was Kyle 10th, grats. Christopher 8th. We got a Christopher 8th. Christopher 8th, Numamon. Grats on Omnimon. Grats on getting a serialized Omnimon. Oh, this was an Ultimate Cup. No one gets Omnimons for this. Was an Ultimate Cup. Dang it. Anyway. 2-3 split on the Floodgates. Chumon over Chukuri. And 4-2 split on the Satskis. Only 1 protoform, 2 Lus. The same lineup, Venus, Ruin, Death. 3 Valks. Everything kind of feels the same after that. But we just got the sneaky inclusion of the Matt down here, which is I find interesting. Oh, we cut the black yellow Gare for a mat. Is amusing. That's amusing. That's a fun fact. Oldos. Oh man, how do you say this one? This is last name Jordan, first name Aldo. Aldo? Aldo? I don't know. You can tell me. The interesting things here are going to be we're actually on 4 Chikuri, the highest number of Chikuri we've seen in a minute, but 2 Chumons, 3 Ukomons of each copy, so we're cutting. We said it's too good. I can win without 8 Ukomons. One of the return of the one black yellow Numemon or Monzumon instead of Edamon makes its funny appearance. Only 2 Valks. 2 Venusmon, so we cut a Valk for a Venus, so just so we can be kind of fancier with our top end. 2 Protoforms, 1 Lu, again making that cut. 3-1 split on Satsuki's, making room for the one. Oh, I need to make sure I zoom down. Oh, that was missed. I hope I didn't miss something somewhere else. But 2 of the starter deck mat is where a lot of our ratios are being cut from to fit 2 of these memory setters. Makes sense, especially since everyone's playing Digimon Emperor against us. Satsuki and a mat allows us to get over 2 Digimon Emperors on board. You know, those things you got to think about. Ruin Merciful mode is an interesting call out, especially with the rise of the ascent of 7 great demon lords. But all those 6th place Numemon list now going into 5th place Ryan Weeks with purple base. It's just cool to see a different base of Numemon get to talk about but we're still playing the only the true loyal purple base creator, BT50 Debbie Meramon as is. And then we're adding a little Cupimon from BT16 on deletion by trashing 1 card in your hand, gain 1 memory, just some cheeky memory gain, some what do you want to call it, turn extension. And then we're also even playing Candlemon from BT15 on deletion if your opponent has 1 or less memory. Draw 1 card if your opponent has 1 or more memory. Gain a memory. So you can, there's some fun stuff there. I wonder, like, that's just like an interesting, just like, gotcha. Like, I wonder how many times he got people. But on top of that, we're playing Black King Numemon. Famous card for its inheritable just being blocker without the reminder text. It is very, like, it looks so weird to me. Like, I don't know if anyone else agrees with me, but it looks so funny. But this is probably one of the first times we see this card, so let's talk about it. Digivolves on any Numemon with level 4 in name for a cost of 3, so it's a typical champion. But it plays on any black for 3 anyway, so it's very rare that this thing's gonna be a problem to Digivolve. Like, you know what I mean? Like, all the Numas are black, yellow, or there are very few that are just yellow, but they do exist. On deletion, reveal the top 3 of your deck. From among them, add 1 card with Monzumon in its name to your hand, and play 1 Digimon with Numemon in its name without paying the cost. So this actually can play a Platinum Numemon from the top of your deck, which kind of goes nuts. For that, we're playing 1 Black Monzumon, 2 Return of 2 Edamon, Black, or 2 level 7 Chaos Mons, and I guess with the Black King Numemon, I can see how we're just gonna have more chances to get Platinum Numemon on board, just randomly and errantly. I mean, we have other ways to do it, but like an additional way is not bad either. And then with the inclusion of Vikemon over Venusmon, we have that extra black level 6, so we have, you know, we have Valkyrie, we have Vike, we have Platinum. It just works, right? Or you can even Valk and Vike to do that if whatever reason the board state is that's just your board state. And Chaosmon X or Chaosmon is just a good card. Digivolve 3, and then you're going to be able to minus 6k something. Most things are just gone after that. 2 Lu, 2 4 split on the Numemons, no floodgates. Purple base, it's interesting. It's very interesting to see purple base stuff, and I believe this was Ryan Weeks. So now we get to go into GFG Organizer himself, Tyler Sear. Congrats to him, another top, and he was in the finals. He actually I always make this meme when people get 2nd place, but not only Tyler was undefeated going to the final round and getting 2nd place. His tiebreakers just meant he got actual second place, so that's kind of cool. If you don't really understand what I mean by that, just ask in the comments. I'm sure one of the homies will keep me in check, keep you in check by informing everybody what I mean by that. Let's see what Tyler cooked up today. 2-3 split on the floodgates, actually going back to 8 Numemons on black base, which I still... I'm friends with Tyler, and I consider him... we're in good spirits, so I can make fun of him, and I find it so amusing that he is the pioneer of purple base and is now on black base. I'll always make that joke. I can't not make that joke. I find it very funny that it's just if there was proof that black base is best base, it's that, and that's just all I'm saying. So that's it. That's it. One of the claw Garamon. I love calling that guy out. Playing heavy yellow black Numemon here. As you saw, every other list was like one, maybe. Not Tyler. Tyler's playing 3 of it. 2 Edamon, no Warumon, 2 of the Valk Ace, and now we get to see our own little ace tech of Cherubimon. Now this Cherubimon, I think, is probably going to end up being one of the best cards coming out of EX06 in terms of where you're going to see it. It's going to come up and you're going to be like, wow, this card is so good. It's just, it's another Numemon, right? Like, it's a Numemon you can ace with. Like, okay, do I have to explain this card? I should. It's an ace. It has Alliance, which Alliance is insane. On play, when Digivolving, you may play 1 green or yellow level 4 or lower Digimon card from your hand without paying the cost until the end of your opponent's turn. One of their Digimon gets minus 4k for each of your other Digimon. So you can't spread it out like you can some other effects, but you can get over a really tall stack, and it, like I said, it lasts until the end of your opponent's turn. So you can Digivolve into this thing on your turn and get rid of Magnamon X's, which, as we all know, problem. You need answers for that deck. Also, the fact that it brings back yellow or green kind of gives us reason to why we're on more Garamon, yellow-black Garamon, more yellow-black Numemon, and we've completely cut the Satsuki Digipolice engine entirely to fit this. And him being second place kind of proves what we need to know, right? Now, what I find interesting is we upped our Protoform X count. Why did we up our Protoform X count? And it's so we can run Rapidmon X Antibody. It's a good card. I find it so amusing, and especially, like, I almost would think that we would want... oh man, I guess we don't have the green yellow level 7 yet DNA, so maybe in the future we might see that card be irrelevant. Return of Ruin Mode and playing a Quartzmon, because we're now on green, right? We have the green top end and then the black. All our level 6s except for Valkyriemon can go into Quartzmon, and that's very interesting. 2 Protoform, 1 Lu, 2 Digimon Emperor, 1 Madashida from the starter deck. It just all makes sense. Unless one of these are secretly in armor and I don't know about it. The upping of X Antibody so we can make Rapidmon X work is so amusing to me. It has to be a Rapidmon or an X Antibody. It doesn't even have that armor condition, so I'm just completely wrong with X Antibody. Congrats on second, Tyler. I'm sure you have a YouTube video out on this, so that's why I kind of make these late, whatever. Congrats, man. I hope go to his video. If he has a video, watch it. Please watch it. He'll know his deck better than anybody. Duh. In first place, Noah with Mirage with the... Well, we were seeing a rise of Mirage playing the fish birds, level 5, and then keeping Betamon around. But nah, we're playing Biomon, jamming Inheritable. It's got blocker. It's a good card. Return of Gomamon. Leviamon is gone. Not a deck anymore, so we're just going to start playing more Gomamons. Return of this Gaomon, and then after that, it's just so interesting to me that everyone's kind of given up on the Gaomon that plays your tamers for free when Digivolving. I always find that interesting that that's just kind of seen its way out. 4 Zudomon Ace, which is like, wow, that's a lot, but I mean, hey, there's a lot of cards that don't have a lot of sources right now. Not a lot of people are going tall right now, and then even if they did, you got answers for that. And then the other interesting tidbit is, like, we're on 2 of the BT13 Mirage Gaomon, and like the rise of these like little tamers that we want to get rid of kind of just makes this card even better. And then there's more deletion effects, so the evade is more relevant. Like the only thing we don't have a real answer for is what? DP minus, but the evade is so good. 4 mental training, 3 memory boost, so we cut a mem boost basically to add the extra Zudomon or even the extra level 6. After that, we got 2 full moon media impacts, fitting in 2 security bombs is always good. 3-1 split on the digi bubbles. And I think that kind of wraps this video up nicely. Congrats Noah on first place. Mirage is also a deck kind of like Numamon. It's been around for a while. I just don't have to talk about it 6 times in a video. But you know, like, you know, this meta started, this BT16 and now EX6 meta kind of started rough with Numamon kind of being oppressive, and it's still probably the best deck. Vexine is also probably really flipping good, but are we in a tiers? I can argue that we're like, these decks are frustrating, but it's clear to me that it's not quite tier 0. Like maybe it's just a step, like it's a step away from it. Maybe we're like, maybe I'm coping. Is that cope? I don't know. I don't know, man. I like to think that the meta is healing a little bit. The players are learning and adapting a little bit, and we are seeing that like we're not quite tier 0, but man, oh man, is it really tough. I mean, I guess it depends on how you define tier 0. From a Eggman events tier pie chart perspective, I expect like if Numamon's like half or more, I'm starting to think tier 0. But like there's also other definitions of like, well, it's meta defining warping. If you can't beat Numamon, then that's like, and I agree with those takes, don't get me wrong. I'm just an optimist. I am detrimentally an optimist, especially like it's easy to be upset. It's hard to like have hope, you know. Hope's difficult. It's definitely hard. It's definitely hard to have hope sometimes. This is your top 16. Like, share, subscribe. See you guys next time.